Hi, this is Tracy. I'm Nawasa's CAPC coordinator. Today I'm going to show you another way to do story time. And what I'm calling it is story time sewing. Okay? And so you'll see the example I have here of Mickey Mouse and his friends. And I cut this picture out from a magazine. And what I did was I glued it onto an orange piece of cardstock. But you can use construction paper, you can use any kind of paper you have handy in your home. Okay, and the reason for gluing it onto another piece of paper like that is so that it hides the other pictures or the other wording that was on the other side. Okay, because I want this picture here to be the focus for story time. Right? Excuse me. And so what you do next, once you glue that onto another piece of paper, is you're going to punch some holes in it. So you're just going to go all around the edges and you're going to punch as many holes as you would like into it. Just keep in mind that the more holes that you punch in, it will be more difficult for younger children to do the sewing. And it will require a longer piece of shoelace, which can be quite challenging to use too for the younger ones. Okay, and yeah, so once I've punched all the holes in around this picture, I then got a shoelace and I did my sewing. So when the children are sewing, they can do story time about this picture, or they can sew first and do story time after. They can do story time first before sewing. That's totally up to you and your children. Okay, I'm going to show you oh, excuse me, I'm going to show you some other pictures I have cut out. And so this one is from a magazine as well, and I like to use magazines because they have real people in the pictures, and I like to use children's books too for the animation, because children love that too as well. Excuse me. And so you'll see again that I've glued it onto a piece of cardstock paper that I have, and I laminated it. And this will still work if you don't have a laminator. Okay, so then I punched the holes in all around my picture, and I got another shoelace and I sewed around the picture. So let me show you another one. This picture of the strawberries I found in a magazine as well. So I just did the process again. Just glued it onto cardstock paper that I have. I laminated it. I punched my holes in all around the picture. And I found another shoelace and I did my sewing. And I really like that picture of the strawberries. That would make for great stories. And here's another picture. These two children. Glued it onto a blue piece of cardstock. I laminated it. I punched my holes all around the picture. And I sewed with my shoelace around the picture. That's another great picture. I love that. Okay. And so these pictures here, I cut out of a children's book. Okay. Same process, just glued it onto another piece of paper that I have. I laminated it. I punched the holes out all the way around the picture. Found another shoelace, and I did some sewing. And you'll notice on this one that the stitches are a little different. And I did that on purpose so that they're learning long stitch compared to short stitch. Okay. This one has a long shoelace. And a long shoelace was required because I punched a lot of holes in this picture. Okay, so again I did the process. I glued it onto a piece of paper. I laminated it. I punched the holes out all around the picture, putting a lot of holes in this picture. And I used a long shoelace to do my sewing. Okay. And here's another picture that I cut out of a children's book. Glued it onto a green piece of cardstock paper. I laminated it, punched the holes out all the way around the picture. Used the shoelace and did my sewing. And these pictures I really like. These are going to make for many great stories. And you may end up with story time looking like this, which is totally fine. The younger children are still learning, and so what they're learning, aside from being able to tell stories, is about space. They'll be learning about in and out, or going up and down, and they'll be learning hand-eye coordination. There's so much to be learned from this activity. So, and your child's sewing might look like this. And like I said, that's totally fine. It's all about the process. Okay, so again, I just glued it onto a green cardstock paper that I have. I laminated it, and again, just reminding you that this will still work whether it's laminated or not. And punched my holes in all the way around, and got my shoelace, and I did some sewing. And if you don't have any shoelaces, you can use yarn, but I would suggest that excuse me, I would suggest that you put tape on the end of it, so it'll kind of resemble this here, so it'll be easier for the child to do the sewing. Okay, and also another tip is to tie the other end, so when they're sewing that it doesn't come right through. So you'll notice that with all of these, I did that because I'm just so used to doing that for the children. So you'll see on the end there, there, don't think I tied that one, but I did tie this one. I tied that one. this one. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this activity, and I hope you have fun doing story time a totally different way. Thank you. Take care.